Cheers.
I'm nervous.
Cheers. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. It's all fun and games. Okay, everybody. What's happening? Welcome to another episode of the Scratch Track. I have with me a very special guest, too. This is my good friend Randy Russell, also known as Randall Russell. And I wanted to have him on here because we've bonded over music for a while. And Randy's not a musician. He's a newly licensed real estate agent. Yes?
Yes,
So
sir.
check out, plug your business and shit before we start. Plug it all. Plug all your handles and everything, and then we'll get rolling.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so on Instagram, it's Randy Russell at C21BE.
Okay.
And then on Facebook, it's just Randy Russell Realtor.
All right.
I work with Century 21. And then you can find me on LinkedIn, Randy Russell. It's all pretty easy to find, just Randy Russell everything.
That's with you in your suit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
I look pretty good.
Yeah, you do. All right. So, so a little background before we get into the album. The album this week is this is John Mayer's Room for Squares, his full-length LP debut, studio debut. And Randy and I love talking John Mayer when we're out at bars drinking and bullshitting. So we thought it'd be perfect to do this. So what year did we meet again? Was it 2018?
2018, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's when I turned 21.
Yeah, you were a highlight of that year because everything else that happened to me in 2018 was dog shit. It was not a good year. So that was good. I knew we were going to be good friends from the beginning because of we bonded over sports initially and the success and lack thereof, more like the lack thereof of success of our teams that we are very loyal to. Randy's a Chicago guy,
Yeah.
Bulls, Blackhawks.
So I'm not a Blackhawks fan, but
No?
Bulls, Bears, and Cubs.
Bulls, Bears, Cubs. Yeah.
And then I'm a Lightning fan.
Yeah. Well, that's probably a good choice.
And then actually, do you know the reason I'm an Auburn fan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell that, please.
So, the reason I became an Auburn fan was because my dad's ex-wife was an Alabama fan. And his exact words were like, "To get back at that bitch, I became an Auburn fan." And so I grew up to be an Auburn fan.
I love that. I love that story because I grew up with a step monster, if you will, at one point, and it was very fun to root against her teams because of how insane it was. Yeah, it was pretty brutal, man. Growing up, I remember growing up in that environment of like, when my dad got remarried, it was like, okay, like let's see what she's made of. You know, me and my sister would always stick together. We were at each other's throats when it came to just like, you know, just straight up battle royaling each other. But in terms of like dealing with her, my stepmom at the time, we stuck together like glue, man. We were a united front. So my mom used to always tell us, she's like, no matter what, you always have each other's back. And like we used to do that all the time, to the point where it would get so frustrating for my stepmom that she would lose her shit. Because it was like, God, she's like, I can't get one fucking word in. It's like, nope, not with us.
It's already frustrating enough when your team's losing.
Yeah.
Let alone somebody hounding you the whole time.
Oh man, it was so much fun. I was like, well, that's what you get for asking me. This is a legit story. One time in the middle of dinner, she came out from the laundry room and she counted the amount of pairs of underwear that I had versus shorts, and something didn't line up. So she goes, "Did you wear a pair of underwear twice?" I was like, "Can I finish my meatballs before this?" I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I was like, "Yeah, I did." I was like, "I came home from school and then I put on basketball shorts because we went to a middle school where we had to wear jeans every day in Florida." It was fucking nuts, man. Such bullshit. So, okay, so tell me a little bit about your life. Where were you born? Where'd you grow up? Musical influences and memories of that kind of stuff, and any background info. Let them know about you.
So I grew up in Brandon, Florida. Lived here actually my whole life.
Which is where we are now.
Yeah, had a small hiatus out in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
But came back to Brandon, and then, like as far as growing up, I think honestly, my biggest musical influence was Johnny Cash because of my dad.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that about you.
I used to watch I used to listen to like every single album that he had, every single song. That's all I ever listened to. Like George Strait,
yeah,
George Jones. Like
yeah,
it was weird. Like those were like my idols.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And
yeah,
I don't think anybody knows that actually.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. Yeah, Johnny Cash has obviously been an influence for me too, because I remember my dad and my grandfather both listening to him very, very heavily. George Jones for sure. George Strait I never really listened to growing up in the house so much, but it was like I knew his name. My sister loves George Strait. I'm pretty sure. Shout out Haley. What's up, dog? I'm pretty sure she does. So. Did you have any? You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. We can edit it out. Did you have any aspirations of college out of high school?
For sure.
You did?
Yeah.
So you still are you still technically like?
I'm in college.
You are, right?
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
so
still taking classes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
so
4 until I get my AA.
Oh, nice, dude. Okay, yeah, I was close to my AA.
Crawling my way little by little.
In 4 years, I almost made an AA. So that was we were close.
Fuck, I might beat you.
Yeah, you might. The race is on, motherfucker. Yeah.
I think I got a semester and a half left.
Yeah, it was not a good thing for me to go away for college. I think I fell into the trap of like, well, I have to go. Mm-hmm. You know, and I was not ready for it. Like I was telling, I used to be the kid that would tell my friends in high school, I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to get in. And they're like, no, you'll get in. I was like, no, you don't understand. I don't think I'm going to get in. And they're like, no, well, this person did. I was like, yeah, well, this person is smarter than me. Oh, yeah. I know this on paper. And it was always like a struggle of like one of my good friends, one of the smartest people I know, Jared Butts. I remember he and I used to have a bunch of classes together, and I would always go, man, I don't know about this test, man. I'm not feeling so good. And he'd say the same thing. I'd be like, oh, thank God, we feel the same way. And then I'd get it back, and I would get like a D+, and he would get like an A-. He'd be like, oh man, lucked out. I was like, you motherfucker. Yeah, man, I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I'm like, God damn it. So, yeah, I remember like I don't know, my girlfriend in high school at the time, she was going to go to, she went to UM. Mm-hmm. She's actually one of the only people that I know that went to the University of Miami and actually roots for that team that went to that fucking school. No one else. I know 0 other people that root for that team that went to that school. And yeah, I'm talking to you if you think I'm talking about you. So, it was a funny thing, because I was like, I remember walking around that campus and going like, this is really fucking nice. Mm-hmm. And like going around like around in that area, and then dude, Miami changes on you in one traffic light. Yeah. You're like, oh, this is what happened. Yeah. You're like looking around, it's all beautiful, the palm trees, it's all nice and shit. And then you like, oh, we're supposed to make a left back there. We're like, yeah, now you can't make that left anymore, or else you're dead and no one's gonna find you. So sorry. But it was, she went down there and I visited a bunch, but I feel like a part of the reason why I went to FAU is to be a little bit closer. Mm-hmm. And also I didn't get in anywhere else. I got into FGCU, and I didn't want to go there just because I don't know why. I never visited there. I like the East Coast. I like being a little bit away. And I feel like I made the right decision in some aspects, but it was like I shouldn't have left because I wasn't ready for that. My brain wasn't fully developed yet to understand the importance and the like the sole responsibility of your life and your life choices. Like I was not ready for that. I barely had any fun in high school. So when I got to college and like inevitably like the girlfriend from high school at the time and I broke up, won't tell the full story, but those of it, it's not a good one. Not my fault, but not a good one. And I remember when that happened, dude, the wheels went off, bro. It was done. I was like, that's it. Here we go. And then got into a relationship 2 weeks after that, and then stayed in that for a year and a half. And then when that ended, holy fuck, hang on to your hats. It was nuts, dude. I drank all the time. It was so bad. And then I remember, like my freshman year roommate, I saw him out at a bar one time, like 3 years after we lived together. And I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, I'm really sorry for being a fucking horrible roommate and not being any fun. Yeah. Because it was like such a bummer all the time.
Well, so I had definitely my plan was go to college straight out of high school. But like my SAT scores, they were like it's like laughable how bad they were.
Do you want to say them? Because mine are pretty bad too. I'll say mine, and then you will say whether you want to say yours.
I didn't get accepted into any colleges. So.
I got a 10-10.
Really?
Yeah.
Like with all 3 sections or just 2?
Just 2.
Okay, because mine is way fucking worse.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Mine's the lowest in my family. I know that for sure.
I got a 780.
Whoa! Yeah. Hello, Derek Rose. What's up, man?
Yeah, no, it was bad.
Damn. Really?
Yeah, because my reading was so bad. I didn't pass the FCAT till my senior year.
You know what's insane? I know so many other people though that get high scores on those things, and then like they couldn't have a conversation, like at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. Standardized testing for me was always like it was an anxiety attack. It was a complete fucking panic. Just every time I get the sheet, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like looking around. I'm like, they're going really fast. They must know all the answers. And like, I'm getting in my own head. I'm like, I should have been one of those kids that they took out of class to go take the test privately. But I was too afraid. I was too afraid to admit it because I was in all these like high level classes where like I studied my ass off just to barely scrape by. And then when I would get the AP tests and the SAT and the ACT and like all those shits, I was like, dude. No chance. No. I have no chance of winning on this.
Yeah,
it's not good.
No, I always used to struggle with like those standardized tests and everything. Like the FCAT, I always sucked at. The SAT, I sucked at. The ACT, I had so much confidence going in.
Yeah,
I think I got like a 22 on the ACT or something like that.
I got a 19 on that one.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm real dumb. I'm real dumb on paper.
Yeah,
but I'm not like. I don't know. I'm dumb in some ways where like I try not to be, but there's certain things where like I just don't know how to do it, and I'll just try to act like I do in public sometimes to avoid the embarrassment of being like, how do you do that? Like if I accidentally pop the hood latch on my fucking car, I'm panicking. I'm like, guess we're driving with it up the rest of the way because I'm not gonna be able to figure out how to open it and then shut it back down.
Yeah.
I know nothing about cars.
Me either. I
know nothing about mechanical shit. I know nothing about like anything in that way. And I'm not afraid to like, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, the reason for it is the reason is because I'm dumb. That's why. And because I didn't grow up around that.
Yeah.
But I was friends with so many people that were like really fucking smart. Mm-hmm. And I was like average, but I hung out with them because we connected on like an intellectual level outside of school.
Yeah.
Like my best friend he was my rhythm guitar player for the high school band that I was in. He is now working for Rockstar Games as a video game designer, and he lives in Brooklyn. Yeah, he shout out to Cole. What's up, dude? And he's one of the best dudes I know. 100%. Like he helped out a lot with this shit with the podcast, and I was like just sending him a bunch of texts. I talked to him every week about a new show, new movie, new actor, whatever, and like we just kind of sit around and bullshit. He's really smart. My other best friend, Austin, at the time, he went to SMU for law school and is now an attorney. Jared, who we were talking about, I think he majored in like biomechanical engineering and now works for Duke Energy. And my girlfriend at the time got a $30,000 academic scholarship to the University of Miami, which is like unheard of from our school. She was the only person that went there from our school. Jeez. And then my good buddy Dylan, who I may not be able to say what he does, so I'll ask him and maybe bleep it out. But he works undercover now for.
I was gonna make a joke about that, but then I didn't know you were serious.
Yeah. No, I may not be able to say what he does. So I don't know. I won't say your last name, buddy, but love you. Love you guys. So it was weird growing up in that because I was like constantly comparing everything to that stuff, and I was like, dude, it was so bad. Like, did you have a lot of smart friends?
Yeah. So
like, were you? Because I know you said you were in a reading class, like me too. I was in it as well. So
I was in it for a long time. So the first year that I was ever introduced, and I'll go back to the whole smart friends thing in a second.
Yeah.
But the first time I was ever introduced to intensive reading,
mm-hmm.
on my on the schedule, mm-hmm. it showed as intense reading. So my mom was so fucking proud. She was like, She was so happy. She was like, "Oh my god, it's his first year of middle school. He's like in all these smart ass classes. We're open house." And I walk in and like there's like people drooling on themselves. I was like, "How intense is this reading?" And then
so intense.
I go to the first. I go to class the first day.
We read a book a day, motherfucker. We're reading intensely.
But the teacher, she took this VCR tape that was the shape of a book, and I was like, shit, she's gonna pass these out. And she like cracks it open, and it's a movie. I was like,
here we go.
How dumb are we?
Yeah.
And I stayed in that class for 5 goddamn years.
So the FCATs were a problem for you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't finally pass my FCATs until I think the 10th or 11th grade. But I was in like AP classes. So they're like, "You're not an idiot." So like, what's going on? I was like I was 17 years old, like taking the FCAT, and like I was in class with people. Everybody that was in like that knew me, that was like in that class, they're like, "Boy, what the fuck you doing?" You know what I mean? Like my buddy Marcus playing on the basketball team. Mm-hmm. He, I'll probably have to bleep that out. Fuck. God damn it. All right. So he saw me in the class, and he was like, you know, he shook my hand or whatever. He's like, "Man, what the hell are you doing in here?" I was like, "I'm not good at this stuff." He's like, "Nah, you'll be fine." I was like, "No, that's what they all tell me every year, and I always fuck this up." And then I was like, "I promise you, I'm here for a reason."
You won't see them, but you'll still be in that same class.
Right. I took when I went into 9th grade, I had to take an intensive reading class. Actually, I had to take one in middle school too, but I got out of it because I got lucky and was able to retake it or some shit like that. I don't know what it was, but in high school, 9th grade, I was put in an intensive reading class, and the first day, I look at the board. We're 15 years old. The first day, the vocab word on the board, one of the vocab words on the board is frigid, as in like, you know, very cold.
Jesus.
And I was like, wait, this is a word we're learning today? I was like, I feel like I've been using this in my regular speech for at least 6 years. And then right after that, she goes, "Okay, the assignment is to write down these 10 words and copy the definitions and then use them in a sentence." Easy. It's like a fucking 3rd grade assignment. Kid next to me goes, "Hey man, I'll pay you $20 to do this assignment for me." I was like, is this what it's become? Is this what I have become now?
Yeah.
I'm doing homework at a 3rd grade reading level for a kid who also has a 3rd grade reading level. And then he tried out for the basketball team. So when he tried out for the basketball team, he's like, "Hey man, you were in my reading class." I was like, "We don't talk about that out here."
Yeah, I
was like, "We don't
get me killed.
We don't talk about that on the court, man. No reading out here, man. We are reading playbooks and we are reading defenses. We are not reading. We're not in reading class. This is fucked." It was.
I felt like my only motivation to get out, well, one was to graduate by passing the FCAT, but 2, I was taking spelling tests at the age of 4, and I was still taking spelling tests at the age of 17. And I was like, there's no way this is real. And the words were the same from when I was 4 versus when I was 17. Like, you just said frigid. I honestly don't know how to spell that.
Yeah. I think it's Frigid. Like if I'm wrong, I don't fucking care. Okay.
If there was a board right here and it said use this word in a sentence, I'd be like, "Hey, go to the frigid and give me something." I would have been so confused.
It's frigid. It's frigid air. It's only half of what you need to say there. God, that was I remember being in that class and just looking around and going like, "Well, we are fucked." Okay, so I have a question, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
I will.
Do you have any tattoos?
Yeah. Oh, God.
For those of you that don't know the story, this is a good time to tune in and listen to it fully, because this may be one of my favorite stories of all time. This is a story that I will tell, and I am so happy that I was a part of this event, because I don't think... I mean, Matt was there, Colby, Dino, Wes, and was that it?
That was all of us at the tattoo shop.
Yeah, at the tattoo shop. Yeah, it was. Oh, my God. Okay. All right, so continue. Tell as little or as much as you want. I'm just going to sit back and drink my beer and laugh.
I'll do the pre-story first.
Okay.
So
get up right on the mic too.
So long story short,
yeah.
When we were there, or me and 2 friends, we went to the Hard Rock, and while we were there, there were some girls sitting at a table, and one of our buddies being drunk started talking to her, and she told me, like, the night goes on. She thought I was funny, and so she told me, she was like, "Hey, I want you to meet my friend." So I was like, "All right, cool."
I forgot about this whole other half of the story.
Yeah.
Now that you just mentioned that. Holy shit. Okay, go
and
ahead.
So she's like sending her pictures of me. Oh, and her friends are pounding. Oh, girl, you know my type. Like,
man.
Oh man, I like that's so me. Blah blah. And I'm like, I was like, all right. And so I find her. I see her on Instagram, and I was like, holy shit, she's actually pretty hot.
Yeah.
And so so she posted an Instagram, and I'm not like really like. I don't like sliding in DMs and like doing all that. I feel like the success rate is like 0.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I knew this girl. She wanted to talk to me. So I responded to one of her stories.
Mm-hmm.
And when I responded to her story, we set up a date. We go out on the first date. Well, all my friends were out, and we went out on a boat. We go out on a boat, and we were meeting a whole bunch of people. Well, when we went out on that boat, it was like, "Oh, Randy, you have a date tonight. Shotgun a beer." Well, then so I shotgun a beer. Oh, we got somehow. I think like so. It's like if a fish gets in the boat, you have to shotgun a beer.
What?
Somehow
is that Colby's rule? Is that
your... like the first fish in the boat, you have to shotgun a beer. Well, somehow, some way, I think a fish. Like I swear, I think a fish just like jumped in the boat, and we were all laughing about it.
Okay.
And so we shotgun another beer. Then we get
what beers are you shotgunning, by the way?
Just Bud Light.
Okay.
By the time we got off the boat, I was 8 beers deep, which is perfect before a date.
Right.
So I go...
Nice little baby buzz for those experienced drinkers.
Yeah. I had a sweet baby buzz.
Sweet baby buzz.
And that shit was getting bigger and bigger, as you could imagine.
Oh, yeah.
So I go to head to the date. I go to the wrong goddamn mall.
Oh, God.
I'm like, all right, great start. So I get to the mall. I find a parking spot after maybe 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Where's my wallet? Don't have my wallet. So I have to run back again.
God.
So I have to run back to my friend's house again. And then so I finally meet up with this girl. We go out on a date. She was actually going to the same place that I was going out afterwards with. Like she was going with her friends. I was going with mine.
Okay.
And she was going with the friend that set us up.
Okay.
So I go out with them. We're all having a good time. I end up like going somewhere else with them to like another bar.
Yeah.
With some of my other friends.
Yeah.
And
somehow is this in Ybor? Or
no, we were in Soho.
In Soho, okay.
Somehow we end up at a strip club.
Yikes! There it is.
How we ended up there? No clue.
Well, it's easy. It's a statistics game. If you're in Tampa, there's a good chance. There's a 3-in-1 chance that the building you're going to walk into at the end of a night in Tampa will be a strip joint.
Yeah, that's true.
Were they wearing 2 masks or just one?
I don't know if they were wearing any.
One up top, one down under.
They should have been wearing one down under. I wish they were fully clothed after this story. So,
oh my God, I know this story. I just haven't heard it in so long. I'd love it so much. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary, by the way.
Yeah.
Continue.
Pig roast.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, that's right.
And so we go to the strip club, and then somehow, some way, but I didn't know, like the girl that set us up on the date. I didn't really know what she did. I didn't know what she did as a job or anything. I guess she was a stripper, or she was like a recruiter for the strip club or whatever.
A recruiter,
whatever she was. Yeah, she was like the recruiter or whatever. I don't know. Just get people drunk. So she ends up putting us in VIP, getting us free bottles, all this stuff. So
are you noticing at this point like a uncomfortable familiarity with her and everybody else that works there? Are you going like, wow, this is a little weird. She knows everybody by name.
No, because I was seeing stars in the back of my head. So at this, I was like dazing in and out.
If this was me, I'd be like, man, she knows a lot of people by name in this place.
How did you guess his name, and her name?
And
all
this
in a
is
row?
okay. So just to be clear, to recap, this is the girl that is familiar with everybody that's in the strip club, is not the one that you went on the date with.
No, but the girl I went on a date with is with us.
Okay, so she's with you guys, but the one that set you up is the one that knows the strippers.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just recapping that.
So then later on, so I black out. And then but then I start I come back to again, and I
blacking back in is what we call it. Yeah.
Yeah, I got tagged in, tagged back, or got tagged out, tagged back in. And so
that happened to me at the wedding this weekend, by the way. I was like, tap in, tap out. I was like, huh? Yeah.
And so I remember waking up or getting in the stripper's car, Now, why I was doing it, and my friend was with us. That girl, she had gone home. Wake up in the stripper's car, black back out. Wake back up. I'm at her house. And my friend's sitting on the couch. Black back out. Wake back up.
Is it Matt with you?
No, it was Colby.
Oh, it was Colby. Okay.
Yeah. So I come back to. I went from being in a car to laying on a couch to a stripper on top of me in her bed. The girl that set us up on the date is just having herself the most fun she could probably ever have in her entire life.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's like it makes me cringe just thinking about it. And because she wasn't pretty.
Oh boy.
It was just so bad.
One of those times.
Yeah, that you have to be blacked out to do anything with.
Yeah.
And then so I black back out again and I wake up completely naked in her bed. So in the morning I go to check my phone. It's 4:00 in the afternoon.
Wait a minute. Didn't you pick up her dog too on accident?
Yeah. So I was so frustrated. I was like so mad, like
the fucking dog.
What did you do to me? So I roll out of bed and I see my shirt. I thought I see my shirt on the floor. I grabbed this dog by the collar. Because I thought it was my shirt, and I grabbed the dog by the collar. It's like some little. It's like a tiny ass dog, and all you hear is "yipe." And so now I like throw him, or well, not throw him, but like set him back down. And
don't throw him.
I grabbed my shirt. And I was like, where are my pants? Like, where are they? And she was laying on them in the bed. I don't know why.
She's trapping you, man. She's trying to keep you there.
And but that broke a streak of a very long time of not having sex. So then I got the tattoo on my ass of that date.
Of the day that it happened. So the thing that was funny was that, like, you know, when you go in for a medical procedure and every nurse and every doctor and every orderly or whatever they call it, every person that's like keeping track of you, they all come by and ask you the same question to make sure that they have the correct information. Like, I remember when I broke my hand, they were walking by like, okay, what hand are we operating on today? I was like, you fucking tell me, like the right, like this hand.
Yeah.
And then the nurse came by. They were like, what hand are we operating on again? They're like, I'm like, the fucking right hand. They kept doing that to you when we were in there. Like, where do you want the tattoo? Yeah. They were like, on my ass cheek. Is that okay? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. And then like 2 more people are like, so where do you want it? They're like, do we have this correct? Yeah. It was pretty funny. And then we watched it all happen. We watched it all happen because we were sitting on the other side of the thing, and like the artists were cracking up, like they threw you on the Instagram story, and it was so fucking funny because everybody that asked, like, what's 216? Is that your anniversary?
Yeah.
Is that your anniversary? Is that your birthday? Is that a family member's anniversary of their passing? Nope.
Nope. I fucked a stripper. That's what I tell. That's actually what I tell people now. Like when they ask me, they're like, "Oh, what's that tattoo on your ass for?"
Oh my god!
Not, I mean, why they see it? It's I usually like before I tell them the real story, I tell them that's the first day I fucked a stripper.
Oh my god, that's pretty funny.
The first time.
It's pretty funny. I mean that the look I remember specifically more than anything this night, and I told this story at the wedding. Seeing the look in your face when Colby or me, I can't remember who it was, reminded you like you're gonna have to explain this to like your future wife one day.
Yeah.
The look that was on your face right after it was so fucking funny. You're like, oh my god, I do. We're like, yeah, dude. What do you think?
You know what's really embarrassing is I went on another date with that girl that I already took on a date.
Plot twist. Yes, I forgot about that.
And one of the first questions she asked me while I was there was, like, we'd never talked about it. Do you have any tattoos?
Funny you should ask.
Yeah. Funny you should ask. I actually still have the plastic wrap on
it. Your friend? I still have the protected sheet. Remember your friend? The one that set us up? Yeah. Oh, man. That is... So I remember you telling me, too, the funny thing about that was not only the story in itself, but you prefaced it by saying where they were like... because the tattoo artists were like, so has that just been like a really long time? And then you go, I think the last time was when I was watching coverage of Hurricane Irma. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I was like looking at I was Googling the news stories of Hurricane Irma. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, how long ago was that?
Were you even old enough?
Yeah, right.
It was a long time.
Jazz, did you know that Randy graduated high school in 2016?
15,
I'm sorry. Is that when you graduated college? Is that when you were done with college? Freshman, sophomore college? Oh, okay. I know, but I was like, holy shit. Born in 1997. Isn't that crazy?
At the wedding we were just at, people, they were like, oh, man.
Yeah, you probably were one of the youngest people there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when they started talking about graduating college in 2012, I was like,
oh, yeah.
What? I was getting tossed against vending machines in 2012, and you were graduating college.
Did you get bullied a lot in school?
Fuck yeah, I did.
I did too.
I did. Yeah. Did you see the way I look?
Jazz from the side. Have you seen his haircut?
Have you seen the way I walk?
Randy had my tippy toes. Randy had a sweet bowl cut. And so, by the way, we will be posting the bowl cut picture for this episode, and also, as long as that's okay with you.
Yeah.
And also, this episode, instead of it being out on a Thursday like you're used to, we're going to release this episode on 2/16, a special release day, just because of the story that you guys just heard. I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. I don't know why, but that story makes me laugh so fucking hard. Just circumstantially, everything that surrounded it is just, it's good enough. That's one of those stories that's timeless, that you'll tell forever. Like Colby he's got and I love you, Colby, but you know this is true. Colby's got a way of like hanging on to these little tiny stories and making them like your identity.
Man, I'd love to hear about them.
And then but this one is just, it's the perfect story. It is one of my favorite stories ever, and that's what this podcast is all about.
I think it was also
it's about fucked up stories.
Yeah, I think it was also like more. It was more of a relief for like all of our friends as well, because our friends every single weekend. Oh, hey, think he'll get laid? Think he'll get laid?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, blew that one.
Yeah,
like he even went to, I think it was Ireland, and I got a bottle of whiskey. With like me, him, and Matt's with our names on it.
Yeah.
And he said, "This we can't drink this until until you break the streak." And it was almost a year later.
We drank it that night.
We
drank it that night. That was really good. Wasn't it like a special Jameson?
Yeah,
it was like a special release,
like straight from the brewery.
Yeah.
So it was something like that.
Yeah, that was really good whiskey. I don't typically drink Jameson, but the fact that it was like, I was like, not only are we, not ever going to see a 2/16 moment again. Hopefully not. Please don't get any more tattoos on your ass. But we may not have a chance to drink something like this again, straight from the vine, man. It was good. It was good stuff. So
can't get another tattoo if I can't beat this streak again.
Okay, so the other thing that I want to talk about, because you and I kind of bonded on this too, is that you and I used to have. Me more recently than you, but we both have had really shitty jobs in the past. And my least favorite job was probably, I mean, there's too many of them, man. I liked the job that I did right before I was done with working during the day, the AutoNation job that I had. I didn't mind it. I mean, it was a good workout. It was, the people that were there were real cool. My boss was really nice, but when I was in high school, man, and like early college, I worked at Target in college in South Florida, and that shit sucked my balls.
That'd be terrible.
Dude, I got yelled at every fucking day by some like mean old white woman, like just not necessarily old, but like just they were just so mean to like everybody. It wasn't just me. I'm like, listen, you're asking me questions that I straight up don't know the answer to. Please don't yell at me over the phone about a My Little Pony accessory, okay? I'm going to look for you. It can't be this important. Yeah. And then I'm like, God, I mean, I didn't know any Spanish either, and half the people that you were dealing with were speaking just Spanish, and I was like, I picked it up a little bit, but like in the beginning of when because I didn't meet my Cuban friends until later on, and I kind of picked some stuff up from them, and then my roommate was a Puerto Rican dude who spoke no Spanish. Like he's 100% Puerto Rican. and he speaks zero Spanish. James, I'm talking to you.
How does that work?
I don't know. How it works is that like he just never fucking did it. Like, I don't know.
I guess.
So I never figured any of it out. But like I worked at Outback in high school, which sucked too, because I was like, did you ever see the movie Waiting about the restaurant industry, where like they work at that I don't know what the fucking name of the restaurant is in the movie, but someone remind me. But it's with like Ryan Reynolds and Anna Faris and Justin Long and David Koechner and like all these guys. Like it's one shift at a restaurant industry, and it's like I remember watching that movie after I worked there, and I was like, this is exactly how it goes. And it's so incestuous there. Like everybody fucks each other. Everybody's like, I mean, just everybody's dating. Everybody's got baby daddy drama or baby mama drama, and like
it's insane.
I'm 16 years old listening to all this, and I'm like, is this what I'm gonna become? Is this where I'm on the road to? So it's like with any more of these intensive reading classes, I'm gonna be like, holy fuck!
At your wedding, you guys are just gonna have blooming onions everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Or one of my best friends, he works at Olive Garden, and that's the way he said it is. He's like it was weird. There's like a family tree.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, that dishwasher, yep, fucking that waitress and that hostess. It's like, all right, that's
it's
cool.
so weird too. Like it's like, dude, why do you want to do that? I was always like a do not shit where you eat guy. I mean, you know, not all the time, but sometimes, like most of the time, it was like I always bust James's balls about that, because like the only people he's ever dated are like people that worked with him. I'm like, there's a whole world out there, buddy. You can't do this. You can't do this to yourself. It's just gonna be more stressful.
Yeah, that's always something like I always found super weird, like trying to talk to somebody that you work with.
Oh,
like how does that? Because if they say no or ew, no, like you're creepy.
Guess what? You got to go back and see him tomorrow.
I got to walk past you every goddamn day.
Yep. That's why it's not a good idea. And you also don't want them to run into each other. Like when you have like the two, like James, I'm sorry, dude, but he dated multiple people in the same department, and then they would see each other on a regular basis. I'm like, how do you not want to blow your fucking head off? Jesus. I don't understand. Like I see that. I think about that happening with like just being out. Like my dude, when Jasmine and I go out in like a city like in Pinellas, my head is on a fucking swivel, because I need to know, like, all right, we need to get out of here right fucking now.
Yeah.
Not because I'm like nervous or like don't want to, you know, see them, or I'm afraid. I just don't want to deal with it, and I don't want to have to pretend to be nice for a little bit and be like, how are you? Like I don't
small talk.
I don't give a fuck how you're doing. I don't. Like anybody. And it happens sometimes, but like I always get nervous, because I'm like, number one, I know that 100% if shit happened, like Jasmine would beat the fuck out of them, and I don't want to have to see that.
Yeah.
Because I might
go Jasmine.
Yeah. No. Shoot. No, but it's not as bad as it was, like, but it always creates some sort of anxiety in me, like unwarranted. It's just me being out I don't like being out in public. This is why I like living out here. Like I don't know many people out here, so like I can just act a fool and not worry about it. But like if I go to Safety Harbor, like not necessarily with girls, but just like acting like an idiot at the bar, if I get too drunk, like they're gonna remember that.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't ever want to be like that regular guy that comes back and he's like throwing up on himself or some shit. So I always try to keep it like under wraps. But
yeah, I wish I had that same filter.
I wish I had the shut off valve where you're like, okay, we're done drinking now.
Yeah. No, that valve stays open, and then it's like it's weird, like the same people that have seen me like throw up on myself.
Yeah,
I'm also like talking to them about like real estate.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, really, like who are you?
Yeah, who are
you? like
the same person that watched you get a tattoo on your ass is like, so what are your strategies on?
Yeah. So what do you think I should price my house at?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe 216,000.
216,000 final offer.
Okay, so sorry, we got off on a tangent. Tell me about your job in high school. This is another one of my favorite fucking stories of all time, because I'm pretty sure at one point I was friends with some of these kids that did this shit to you, but I never was this kid. Never.
Who, Imran?
No.
Probably him.
No, not him. That would be funny though if it was where he just turns out to be like the biggest bully of everybody. He's like this fucking piece of shit.
He's been kicking my ass forever. So
I love Eminem. I gotta get him on here and just start talking shit about the fucking Magic, dude. That would be great. But yeah, okay, continue. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off.
So when I had just turned 16, and I was like, I didn't really know where to apply.
Yeah.
I had applied at like Kmart. I don't know why I did that. I applied at Target.
Yeah.
Apparently, I wasn't one of the
I got
high
in,
class standard people.
I got in there because my mom knew one of like the regional people that worked there. That's the only reason why I got in there. Yeah, I got lucky. And then I worked there for like 8 months, and then I was like, fuck this, I'm done. But go ahead, sorry.
My number one place that I wanted to go to was Publix. But
yeah, me too.
I ended up getting an interview at Chuck E. Cheese. And when I got an interview at Chuck E. Cheese, the guys, it was weird. Like, the manager's eyes lit up. Like,
do you want to work here?
I think it was my personality and the fact I was tall. I got like weird hands.
Oh, they're like, dude, you would fit in the costume perfectly.
You would be ideal.
They see you and they're like, oh, it's Chucky. Oh
like,
my god.
Like, oh my god, it's him in the flesh. And so I get the job, and it was the absolute worst job I've ever had. But I will say it gave me the personality that I have now.
Yeah,
because that's like maybe the only positive that I got out of it, and like some friendships.
Probably gave you a ton of like thick skin and broad shoulders for all the torment that you had to go through.
Like it was like the weirdest things. Like you don't like. I'm not even kidding. Kids would come up to you. Yeah, I put 80 tokens in this game.
Yeah,
really? You didn't get the memo after one? Like you
dumb fucking kid.
You put 80
but you put
in there.
78 more in after the 2 ate them. Yeah, okay.
It was always so much fun proving them wrong. Like the little boxes that held the coins. Like you'd open it up and there'd be like eight tokens in there. Really? You put 80 in here?
Yeah.
Where did they go? Did they melt? Like where did they go? And
can you go get your mom so I can let her know how much of a dumb fuck you are?
And you'd see like the weirdest, like there was kids, the mom was sitting at the table with these kids, and there was kids having a contest who could put more tokens in their mouth.
Oh my god.
And the mom is encouraging it, counting.
Oh, she's counting?
Yeah.
She's probably playing too.
She was like counting like tally marks on her phone.
God, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna fucking throw up.
And there was just so many like my favorite, one of my favorite things, but actually my least favorite, but it's like one of my favorite stories, is that one of the first times I ever had to do the Chucky costume. It was for a birthday party.
So hold on. So before we get into that, what exactly are the positions at Chuck E. Cheese? Like, there's obviously the gift counter person, right? Did you ever do that?
So whenever they got backed up, they'd ask me, hey, can somebody, or they'd ask anybody, hey, can somebody from this department,
right,
go
this
work
department
up there.
That's 8 feet away from the rest of the place. Yeah. So there's that, and then there's like, what do you like, the coin bitches?
So, basically,
pretty much.
So they give us higher class names. I was a game room attendant.
Okay, there you go.
I was top notch.
It's the best game room attendant this place has ever fucking seen. You better believe it.
Brandon.
Is it still open?
Brandon Chuck E. Cheese.
It's still open, right?
Oh, yeah.
Have you been in that one, Jazz? The Brandon Chuck E. Cheese? Oh, yeah. Did you have your 18th birthday party there? Like, I should bleep that out. Fuck. Sorry. Love you, man. He did, though. That's a true story. That's a true story. He had his 18th birthday party there. He was like, he was one of those kids where like you'd tell him to do something, and then he'd be like, okay. And he'd be like, no, we're kidding. He goes, no, I'm going to do it. And then we're like, oh, God damn it. We all had to go. We all went, and we're like, this is actually really kind of fun, but there's too many goddamn kids here.
Some of the best times when we were there were when people would fight. When people would fight, the whole place would clear out.
Wait, adults or kids?
Adults.
Yes.
Kids never fought. Little kids, they're so wholesome. They never fight. They'll do the nastiest, most disgusting shit you've ever seen in your life, but it was only the adults that fought.
Dude, I am like, I have a little blood flow downstairs when I think of like confrontation in places like that. It excites me to no end. Or like if I see that shit, I am watching it 100% because I know it's not a big deal. Yeah, and I like you're fighting in Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, it's like your kid tripped my kid, the entire time I was there, I probably saw like 9 or 10 fights. I've never seen a one-on-one.
Oh yeah.
It's just family because it's always like birthday parties and stuff. Just families brawling.
So now we're getting to the grand finale. So okay, so walk me through how they approach you to become Chucky and like what's the training that's involved in this? Because for those of you that have never been to Chuck E. Cheese, and correct me if I'm wrong, at some point in the party room or whatever where the stage is at, or you just start walking the floor randomly, right? Can that happen? Does that happen too?
So it's both. So every 15 or 30 minutes, it was one of the two. I think it was every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You have to go out and you go walk around, and then like you go like collect a whole bunch of kids and get a Congo line going.
Oh boy.
You lead them up to the front, and then you
can't do that anymore.
You dance with them. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Epstein. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh. And so
this is gonna get canceled for sure. So sorry, everybody.
And so you bring them all up to the front, and you dance with them, and then you throw tickets. But it was the worst thing you could do because you throw tickets up to a bunch of little kids.
They're gonna just fucking fight the shit out of each other.
So the kids on the outside stand up. The kids on the inside are like on the floor. Yeah, and it's just people stomping on it. It was somebody was crying 10 times out of 10 afterwards.
It's like a Who concert. Sorry, that's a music thing. A lot of people died at that show. Sorry about that. So anyway, okay. And this is what happens every time I drink on this podcast and like have a beer. I say shit that I definitely shouldn't say. So
screw it.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
we're having fun.
Your podcast, not theirs.
Yeah. So then, okay. So so you're throwing tickets.
Yeah.
And then, how many kids would you say on average would you be throwing the tickets to?
Depending on the time, like if it was a Saturday, on like probably like I don't know, it could be anywhere up to like 40 kids.
40 kids?
Yeah.
Holy
and they're all like yanking on you, like yanking your tail, like making like,
hey Chucky, dance, bitch.
Yeah. Just yelling at me, like trying to pull my gloves off. Like, if you see I'm white under these gloves, you're gonna be so mad,
so disappointed.
Yeah.
Oh, Chucky's white. God damn it.
Yeah, and they'd be so upset. She's all right. And so, but then every time there's a birthday party, they like you have to go out and you go back in the room and you chill out for a while. Then you come out and you're like, the first thing that you always have to do is like because you have these big gloves on.
Yeah.
And the first thing you have to do is just like wave them around like this, and like do like an alien sign under the gloves. And so you're like waving around.
So the fingers will spread. Is that what you, or so the is that what you're?
That's just how the gloves were fitted.
Oh, how they?
So they're like I think he has 3 fingers. So it's just super uncomfortable. Yeah. And there's always like blood and sweat in them.
In the gloves?
No, in the whole suit.
There's blood in there?
Yeah.
Dude.
There's mold.
Do you have AIDS? Did you get AIDS from Chuck E. Cheese?
It's probably the only way I'd get it.
Oh my God. That's blood in there? Dude, this is the nastiest fucking place I've ever seen. Like,
it's terrible.
If my mom found out I was putting coins in my mouth at Chuck E. Cheese, which by the way, they don't wash the fucking coins. They go into the machines that come out and they get reused for prizes, and then they put them back in the fucking machine that gives them to you. If you're letting your child put a fucking coin, I'm gonna puke. I can't talk about it anymore. I'm gonna get sick. I can taste it. Just because like when I clean my car out and like I organize my change and shit, and then I just smell it on my fingers, I'm like, I hate it because it's so dirty. It smells so dirty. Just to put those in your mouth, my mom would have beat the shit out of me. She would have been like, I'm gonna smack the fucking taste out of your mouth. Like she should. Yeah. So you don't do it. And my mom didn't beat me growing up, but she let me know when I was fucking up. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's how my mom.
If there was a reason to, that'd be a solid start.
Yeah, she would be like, "Are you?" She would just look at me and be like, "Are you dumb? Yeah. How dumb are you?" Yeah. God. Okay. So I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off, but I'm good. Enamored by the fact that there's blood in this costume.
Yeah.
Who's bleeding in here?
It's just random. Like sometimes you get in it, there's no blood, but then sometimes other times you get in it, like if it hasn't been dry cleaned in like 3 weeks.
Where's the blood located in this costume?
all places. Usually it was weird. Like a lot of the times you'd see it, it's like up in the head, so like you don't want it to like lean over too far, or else it's gonna like touch you.
Oh my
But
God.
like a lot of people like you'd put paper towels in the outfit and stuff. But but doing it for birthday parties was always the worst because that's you have to get like real close to the kids.
Yeah.
But then like when I was like 16 and I wasn't very tall.
Yeah.
Or I wasn't as tall.
Yeah.
As I was when I was like, I think I was still working there when I was like, I was 18 there for a little bit.
Oh, you worked there for 2 years? For 3 or for how long?
Besides when I did an internship over the summer between my junior and senior year of high school.
And you got your job back after that?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, thank God he's back.
Yeah.
We got
Actually,
big Whitey back.
I wanted to go back so bad because all my friends were still there.
Oh, that worked there?
Yeah.
Do you still keep in touch with anybody that's there? Still?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so some of them were like they're like my best friends growing up, and I mean I'm still best friends with them now.
And
so.
nobody's HIV positive, so you don't have to like go get tested or whatever.
Well, they've all been like in long-term relationships for about 5 years.
Okay, so
if they were dating these people like when they were working there, so if they have it,
we'd start to see some symptoms.
Yeah, we'd start to see a couple nosebleeds or something. So.
Lesions on their face. Okay, so sorry, we keep cutting this off because it's building to the worst thing that's happened to you at this job, and I cannot wait for this.
And so, I remember there was one Emron's birthday party. That's when it was the absolute worst because there was little kids literally spitting right inside my mouth. And their parents, well, the kids thought it was absolutely hilarious, but the parents thought it was so goddamn funny, encouraging it, and that's
what's up, Chucky, you white bitch.
That's when I'd gotten taller, so I had like this much of my arm showing, this much of my legs showing. It's the most disproportionate costume ever, and I'm showing so much skin.
Have you seen the costume now? It's like cracky cheese, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, good God.
That's what I was wearing, cracky cheese.
The skinny costume?
Yeah.
Because I remember Chucky when I was a kid, he was fat.
Yeah.
He looked like me. He was chunky as fuck.
What I always found so weird is the mouse, like the electronic one that's up on stage.
Yeah.
It's like the fat one.
God.
But then when you have the cocaine Chucky,
yeah.
you're like walking around as him. It's like, okay, there's Chucky, and who's his brother like walking around?
Yeah, who's his delinquent brother?
There's no way he didn't just get out of jail.
Looks like Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale, Mickey Ward and Dickie Eklund in the Fighter. It's like, here's this guy. He's in good shape. He's chunked up a little bit. He's got some muscles, and then here's a crack addict.
Yeah,
that's also related to him. Yeah, I always remember Chucky being like a husky mouse. You know?
He was.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden I saw pictures of it recently where I was like, who the fuck is this dude?
Yeah, no,
he's gluten. He's going keto. He's not eating any more of his pizza. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to put this rumor to rest too, because this is something that I've heard and read, and we talked about this already. Can you for sure say that at least at your location? So there's a rumor about Chuck E. Cheese pizza that when certain pizzas are done and not fully finished, they take other pieces and other pies that aren't finished and make them into a collective like whole pie.
No.
That was, yeah. So I read about that. I was like, that sounds like, to me, it's funny if it's true, but it also sounds like it would take way more effort to do that than it would be to just throw it in the garbage.
But when you say that, thinking about how easy it would have been to do that, I wouldn't doubt that people do that.
Yeah, it was I think it was like a meme I saw, or like an article I read on Facebook or something like that. I probably just read the title of the article. Like most of you should say you do. And that you didn't read the whole fucking thing. Okay, so go ahead.
I've seen that rumor too.
Yeah.
Now, like at our location, our manager, he was so big on not wasting those token cups, like where the tokens go into.
What?
And so if you see one on the ground, you pick it up. And I used to get in so much trouble because I would never do it. I thought it's disgusting, it's gross.
Yeah.
What he would do is you're supposed to pick it up and you're supposed to put it back in the thing for somebody else to use.
Mm-hmm.
No, I step on it every single time because I was a game room attendant. But when you're a game room attendant, you have so many other job duties. You have 25% of your job is a game room attendant, 75% is a janitor.
Oh my God.
So I was in charge of making sure all the tables are cleaned off, like making sure like that everything's good.
Yeah.
I was in charge of sweeping the floors, so everything on the floor. At the end of the night, I had to go under every booth with an under booth brush, and you sweep it out, and it has to be absolutely spotless. Like,
dog, it's Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah, what are we doing?
They thought I was cleaning Burn's Steakhouse.
Yeah, right.
And like you
fucking
literally
Disney World.
You had to sweep under every single one, and it was always so. There's like 80 something booths in there, and it's like, oh my god, like my knees were on fire, and then funny, you have to fill up all the games with tickets, and at the end of the night you have to wipe all the games down, and there was just always so much to do as a game room attendant. But
so what was the best game that was at Chuck E. Cheese?
The best game was probably people telling me, "Hey, I lost a ticket, or I didn't get my tickets out of this game," because I would give you way more tickets than.
Like so whatever that was.
If you were respectful, and I didn't see you throwing birthday cake around,
right,
and I didn't see you stomping,
and you're not spitting in my mouth,
if you're not spitting in my mouth, and you think it's funny, and then you try to tip me afterwards,
I'll give you some extra tickets.
Yeah, like
just stop being such a fucking dick.
I used to, and like people would be like, "Oh, I'll give you like 8 extra tickets." No, like I remember there were like. It was all the time where they'd be like, "How did this game run out of tickets so fast?" Because I'd seriously give them a stat, like a brick like this. I would just give it out. I was, like the owner of Chuck E. Cheese, I was probably the worst. Like I was a terrible asset to that company. I probably cost them so much money, but I made sure people had fun.
Hey, that's all that matters, man. As long as the kids are having fun and not fucking trampling each other and. Their parents aren't fighting.
Like if there was a kid that I felt so bad for, that was so nice. I remember like there was one that had like 25 tickets. It was like, oh, do you want a Smarties?
Yeah, right.
Like, but I was like, here. So I told the girl, and I think it was her mom. Also, I think her mom was pretty hot, so I think that's why I also did it. But I went to the back and got a prize, like a Barbie doll set or something for like. That was like 35,000 tickets.
Yeah, and just gave it to her?
And just gave it.
Did you get the mom's number?
No. Because I had that stupid-ass haircut, and I couldn't talk to anything that moved. Guy, girl, alien, it didn't matter.
We will definitely be posting the picture, so there will be some payoff, I promise. Okay, so let's try and make a relatively seamless transition here into the album. I'm sure that John Mayer, when he eventually hears this podcast, which it is the greatest, so I'm sure he will hear it. I'm sure he's definitely going to want to be in the same breath as Chuck E. Cheese and ass tattoos
and strippers
and illegal high school football games. Yeah, and strippers. Yeah. Those are some of his favorite things. Probably strippers, but that's neither here nor there. So, Room for Squares. By John Mayer. This is probably one of my favorites by him. I mean, obviously, Continuum is the tour de force. I mean, it's the greatest. It's one of my top 5 albums. Continuum is with Gravity, Slow Dance in a Burning Room, Don't Trust Myself with Loving You, all those great songs on there. That's probably my favorite. But this is pretty close to number 2 for a few reasons. I remember listening to hearing No Such Thing on the radio as a kid growing up on 95.7 back when they were a alternative and pop and alternative station. They weren't hip hop back then. And I remember hearing John Mayer on here, and I remember my dad, much like when we would listen to Dave Matthews in the car around that same time, he would mimic John Mayer's voice and kind of make fun of how he sounded. And I don't know what it was. I don't think I appreciated it because in 2001, so I was 8 when this came out. I remember listening to it as a kid, and I remember hearing No Such Thing on the radio and Your Body Is a Wonderland because it was like sexual rock, like sexual acoustic rock.
Yeah.
And not No Such Thing, but Your Body Is a Wonderland. And I remember I'm like, what's he talking about here? What are we doing? And then, you look further into it, and then you're like 12, 13 years old, and you're like, oh, got it. Yeah. So the one fun thing about this album that I know is that he recorded this entire album with a Dave Matthews model Taylor guitar. That's why a lot of it probably he gets a lot of criticism.
All that slander.
Yeah, dude. I was just reading reviews from the album recently. I was like looking up some fun facts to dive into, and it's like, dude, the comparison and the hate of Dave Matthews from this album is insane. It's like, God, give it a fucking break.
The effort you put into hating him, I guarantee you, it would be so much easier just to like him, or just don't listen to it.
Yeah, right. Like, just don't. If you hate it so much, be like, okay, then don't fucking listen to it.
If you can go song by song, word for word, telling us how much you hate it,
yeah,
you actually just like it,
yeah,
and I don't even know why you would even waste your time on a review like that,
right? So, so John Mayer, the thing that the fun fact that I know that I was holding out on you for, I wanted to tell you this to get your reaction, see if you know who this guy is. So, do you know who Clay Cook is? Do you know that name? Maybe?
Hold on. I heard of him. Isn't that who my friend was telling me about him? Didn't he move like somewhere with them, or moved to Atlanta with them or something?
Yes. Yeah. He was in a duo with Clay Cook. They were an acoustic duo, and Clay Cook is now a longtime member of the Zac Brown band. So he plays guitar for Zac Brown, and when they were, I think they wrote some of these together. I could be wrong. It might be just John Mayer, but when they were performing in Atlanta, which is, Neon and Why Georgia are two of the songs that I know for sure that they're talking about, at Atlanta or whatever. Mm-hmm. But they used to play a lot of cover gigs together, and then they eventually, creative differences or whatever you want to call it, they parted ways. But that's the two things about that album that I love. And I always, whenever I'm in Atlanta, I always think of like, oh, maybe this is the exit that he was talking about in Why Georgia or whatever, or Find a High on Peachtree Street. Maybe this is where he was talking about whatever. But I've always loved this album because of the simplicity of it. It's not like you get deeper down the John Mayer catalog, and it's like very guitar heavy, very experimental stuff, and like it's kind of weird to the outside of the musical like ear.
Yeah.
But it's this is, for this to be like a debut is fucking insane. I mean, it was just the fact that some of the biggest songs that he has, as like his 2 or 3 biggest hits, are on this. Yeah. So it's pretty wild. So do you remember the first time that you actually like heard this? Like fully, or heard a song off of this, or whenever? Do you remember any of that?
Oh, so the first song I ever heard off of this was No Such Thing. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's like that might be everybody's, or it's like a lot of people's first songs.
It's pretty standard unless you're listening to like the CD and you come in on like a track that's random or whatever. Yeah.
But actually, the first time that I heard it all the way through was or the first time I heard, I just straight listened to it all the way through, mm-hmm. was just a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, because I'm so used to like watching him live, and like listening to him like while he's performing live, that I've never even like it's weird like listening to this, like when you hear just the recording versus me being so used to listening to him live, like. He has so much. He actually has a lot more energy like when he's live.
Yeah.
So it threw me off like having to like slow some parts down, and there's some parts where he's like not as excited, or he adds so much more guitar when he's live.
Yeah. A lot of it's very guitar driven, and
it's like a lot of it threw me off because I was like dang, like this song's way better live than the recording.
Oh yeah. Neon is one of those where I'm like, oh my god. When he does it acoustic, you can really hear like each individual like note. And the thing with acoustic guitar is that electric, they say that, I don't know this is just a thing. They say that when you play electric guitar, it's easier to hide your flubs and bad notes and mistakes and things like that. But with an acoustic, you can hear everything. Mm-hmm. You hear all the dead notes, you hear all the missed strokes in there. But I'm only speaking from a acoustic guitar player standpoint. I'm not saying that I'm better, but I'm just saying that that's just what I know from electric, because it's a little bit of a different approach. So don't hate me for it. But when you hear him do Neon acoustic, at the Nokia Theater, the Keep Me Where the Light Is, or what, Where the Light Is whatever.
What
the fuck is that?
Yeah, Where the Light Is.
Where the Light Is, yeah. When they do it on that album, it's like, and just to open with that, and like just insane. I mean, he's not obviously not coming out cold, but like it's the first song you're playing for your first like full band live show that you're doing, and he's opening for himself.
Yeah,
like he's playing acoustic, and then they build to the trio, and then they do the full set like that. I mean, you're playing your full show alone. It's that shit is insane. But the guitar work on Neon is fucking unreal.
Isn't there a part where he played just like set the pick down and just started playing?
I think he finger picks most of his stuff. From what I've seen him play live and what I've seen like on like his Instagram videos and his live streams and like his live performances, I don't know if he uses a pick at all. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure he does. I think he finger picks a lot, and I think he just kind of like uses the volume on the guitar to kind of accentuate the hits rather than to get a pick. I always use a pick, and that's just because I don't play the same way as him, but he is an insane guitar player. Probably one of the best guitar players that we have on the planet right now.
Yeah. That
is also a songwriter and a singer, like outside of the instrumental guitar players that you get, the prog rockers that Alfonso and I talked about. But if you just look at his body of work in terms of like his songwriting as well as lyricism along with his guitar structure and like the songwriting and everything, it's just, it's insane. I'd put him up against anybody that is in that early 2000s alternative acoustic rock scene, because I think he's just the best.
Yeah.
I think he's the best that came out of everything, because he was coming out at a time where like Goo Goo Dolls were big, and like Train and Maroon 5 and like Dave Matthews was big, like those acoustic rock kind of things, like Three Doors Down, and like Creed was big at that time, like the kind of soft rock. It wasn't quite post grunge yet, where you had all like the Staind and Chevelle, Disturbed, and who the fuck else am I forgetting? A bunch of those guys in that scene. But this, like the acoustic alternative rock, was at the tail end of like the grungy scene. Like the Foo Fighters were coming up at this time too, like 2001, 1998, 2001, somewhere in there. And or actually they were big. Their first was 1995, so I think 2001 was like One by One, or There's Nothing Left to Lose, one of those two. But don't cite me on that. I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry. Had a few beers. So that was going on at the same time as him, and I just remember it being so much different. Like I didn't understand how complicated the guitar was until I sat down and tried to like learn some of these songs. But like you look at those other guys that I mentioned, like the acoustic rockers around this time, and they weren't doing anything like he was. Not even anywhere close. And he was playing his own lead lines. He was like structuring all the songs. He wasn't playing with a band. It was like just him. Obviously he's like his studio musicians, but in terms of like the songwriting and everything, it was all really him. So but yeah,
he's so talented.
It's crazy. Yeah, I highly recommend to see him live if you haven't already.
That's why I can't wait to go see him live.
I know.
I never even got a chance to.
We need concerts back so bad. Yeah, he's probably gonna have some new music too. I think he was talking about on an Instagram live post with Dave Chappelle, actually, because he and Dave are good friends. He and Dave Chappelle are good friends, and they've done shows together.
I've seen Dave Chappelle on one of his Instagram stories before. Yeah, on like an Instagram thing that he did.
If you remember from the Chappelle show back in the day, John Mayer was in an episode with him talking about how people dancing to a certain type of music, and he was saying like he took John Mayer into like a barbershop to play guitar. And he was like, "See, people dance to anything," and then like he starts playing, and they're like, "Nah, get this fucking whatever, like get out of here." Man. And then he's like, "But what if there was some drums?" And then like he started. Questlove is behind the drum set, so like him and Questlove are jamming in the barbershop, and they started dancing. But yeah, so they've been friends for a while. And when he was on that Instagram live thing, he was saying, he was like, "Yeah, we had a good portion of the album, I think, ready to go." So I think he's either about to be done or in the process of like finishing up writing and getting it recorded, which is really great.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that happen. There's like I just feel like especially like rappers. I feel like you never see it, but Like with musicians like him, it's a lot more popular. But seeing people that are so good, just like their recordings are really good, but then you listen to it live and it's like 10 times better.
Yeah, it's the energy of the room, and like you can really feel it. Yeah,
it's like that's like you hear people singing along to it, and it's just there's just something that I love listening to John Mayer live. He's like my absolute favorite live.
Yeah,
I think his live album might be my favorite album in music history.
It's up there for me for sure. Like in terms of live albums, I think it's a little bit. It's kind of tough to put that up against an actual album like this.
Yeah.
But in terms of live stuff, I think that's probably one of my favorites, just because he just puts on a fucking clinic when he's just playing the guitar, man. It's insane. So
hit after hit.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think your favorite song is off of this?
Oh, it's Neon for sure.
Neon?
Yeah, Neon. I love Why Georgia, but Neon.
Yeah, Neon hits hard, man. I love that song.
Neon is just
so funky too.
Yeah. Neon and Why Georgia. Mm-hmm. I think Why Georgia. I like I just like how it flows.
Yeah.
But Neon, it's definitely it's my second favorite song from him.
Neon is so fucking hard to play.
Oh,
it's so fucking hard. I'm not even gonna pretend. I knew a girl in South Florida actually who was an insane guitar player that could play that shit, and I was like, "What are you doing here?" She's insane. I don't know if she's still a musician now, but she was super talented.
Yeah, I have another friend that he tried playing it on his guitar, and he was like you can't even play the beginning.
Yeah,
to get past everything.
It's tough. It's also in a weird tuning too. So he does a lot of those slaps and stuff like that he kind of in a way not invented, but he made a staple of like those like the snaps on the guitar that you hear like on Stop This Train, and you hear it on Neon too, and there's Why Georgia, there's also some stuff on there too where like you're hitting it as like a snare hit on the acoustic guitar. Jack Johnson also did that very early on in his career, made that very popular. But yeah, John Mayer claims to have not invented it, but I guess made it, like popularized it. So
yeah,
I would say I think my favorite's probably, I don't know, I would say it's probably Why Georgia too. Or it's up there for me. Oops. I think it's either that or I mean. There's a ton of songs on here that are like the top half is all really hits, other than like, I mean, City Love is not really a hit, but it's relatively popular. On the back half of this, you got 3x5 is the one that he does acoustic a lot. I've heard him do I think I've heard him do Great Indoors, not live, but I've heard him do it like solo. Like on like an Instagram feed, and like St. Patrick's Day is another one. Like those are like a story song. I like that one too. But I think my favorite of it all is probably No Such Thing, just because it resonated with me at such a young age. Like I specifically remember being 8 years old and hearing that song, and I was like, my dad would making fun of the when he would like do that. he would tease about that. He's like, this guy's voice so whiny. I'm like, okay, and now he like. Now he respects it all. But
does your dad like him?
Yeah, I think he does. I'm not really gotten his review on John Mayer, but I've told him he might have been the one that told me about how good of a guitar player he was, or I don't know. Maybe he told me about Prince, because there's certain guys you hear about. Like when I was a kid, I didn't understand that people were actually playing the guitar too. I just thought that like names on albums when I was like a young kid. I just thought the names on albums meant that they just sang the songs.
Yeah.
I didn't know they wrote them. I didn't know they played the guitar with it. I didn't know any of that shit. So when I found out that he played all of his guitar, and then like my dad was also like telling me about how good of a guitar player Prince was, because like I only knew Prince as like thought he just was a singer.
Yeah, singer.
Like I didn't know. And he was like, no, you gotta watch this guy play. And then like I'm like, holy fuck. Like, so when you find out that some of these guys that are just great songwriters and just masters of their craft, like are actually like super talented instrumentalists too. I mean, it's night and day. I gain a whole new respect for that, because it's a whole new element of songwriting. You're not just writing lyrics and going like, oh, I'll just figure out what you guys play. Like, no, you're bringing in like an actual song.
Yeah. No, that's
so. Yeah, it's interesting.
I was kind of the same way. Like I didn't realize like the things that they actually do and put into all of these songs.
Yeah, it's wild, man. I mean, on a small scale, like when we went in the studio and you went in one time to hear it a few weeks ago. I don't know when that was, maybe November, October, something like that. But
yeah, I think it was November.
There's a lot that goes into it, and the fact that it's just me and Keith in there that are recording 95% of the instruments, it makes it so much easier when you're with a team and like you're John fucking Mayer and you have like a full band doing this. But like you've seen it now because you've been in there to kind of like understand where all the creative differences come from, and like everybody's saying like I like this but I don't like that, and then the other person says, well, I like this but don't like that, and things like that. So it's so great to share that with people, but it's also like you also gain you see how the sausage is made, and sometimes people hate that shit. Yeah. Like I remember in high school when we were in a high school band and we were recording stuff just in our house. I remember being like, oh, this is why bands break up. It's like they spend too much fucking time together, and it's like it's too much.
Well, is it like more of the fact that like nobody can come to an agreement on something, and then
it's a lot of it is timing. Sometimes we had scheduling issues, we had sound issues, we had lack of communication because there were guys in the band that were looking for something different from a different instrument that they didn't know how to communicate it to, and I was guilty of it as well. But it all comes from I think at that time it was just because we were kids, we were young kids.
Yeah,
we didn't really know what we were doing, most of us. But I still keep in touch with a couple of those guys, and but the studio thing and the songwriting and bringing stuff like that into a situation where like I mean I can't even imagine, like I know that he had an EP, like a demo that came out with some of this stuff on it, like the Neon demo.
Yeah.
I think No Such Thing was, and Bodies of Wonderland, all the stuff that's on the top was on a demo, and then like to bring that into a studio and then it be like that's your staple, that's your first full album is like, holy shit, I can't even fucking believe that,
Just have so many hits on one.
Yeah, dude. Some of his best stuff is all on the top side of his first album. So it's crazy. So okay, so what is your favorite lyric or like story, I guess, in this?
So actually I had that written down.
The lyric?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was they read all the books, but they can't find the answers from No Such Thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes back to what I was telling you earlier about how like I found it relatable to myself.
Yeah.
Just being in intensive reading.
Yeah.
Couldn't fucking read. Yeah, it was just plain and simple. Like I could read the passage 104 times.
Yeah. Not know the answer.
I did not know that answer. It was probably that damn frigid word.
Yeah, it's frigid. Fucking frigid. That's pretty funny.
No, that's really good. That's like, I found that so relatable to myself.
Yeah.
And so I just...
That's really funny. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite lyric, I think, on this album. I mean, I like the lyrics in the song of My Stupid Mouth, where he's just talking about how much of an idiot he is. He's like, I'm sorry for saying the things that I said, like, I'm cussing a lot and saying some shit in the grocery store or whatever it is, or what he's talking about. And I like the story in that. So that's probably my favorite lyric or story. But so my favorite deep cut off of this, I always ask about deep cuts. My favorite deep cut is Back to You, because that was one of the songs on our 8th grade graduation video, and it's on the back side of it, and it's not a very popular one, but the reason why it resonated with me is because it was a part of my transition into high school, where I was like not looking forward to it at all. I was like, fuck this shit. But yeah, that was my favorite. Do you have a favorite deep cut off of here?
So actually, I listened to Back to You quite a few times just today, and like every time I listen to it, I seemed to enjoy it more and more.
Yeah.
I just think like I don't know, I felt like like out of all the songs that like aren't really that popular.
Yeah.
I think that and St. Patrick's Day actually.
St. Patrick's Day is good too. I like that one.
I just like the rhythm of St. Patrick's Day.
He's going through the whole course of the year, I think, or something. Yeah, or maybe we'll be good on St. Patrick's Day. I can't remember the exact line. I'm fucking it up, but he's talking about, maybe it'll be fine by then. Yeah. Like he keeps going. Yeah.
It kind of sounds relatable to 2021. Hopefully everything's good by St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, that was the start of it. The mess. That was the start of the mess, was St. Patty's Day. I remember waking up to that. That was when it was. They were like, "Hey, you remember?" I talked to a friend about this. I was like, "Do you remember when we were like, oh, we just got to make it to May?" Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, I was actually just talking to a friend about that.
Remember how dumb that was?
A couple days ago, and it was like, oh, worst case scenario, it was like June.
Yeah. We're like, oh, if we make it to summer, we'll be fine. We're like, guess what, motherfucker?
This shit's gonna die off from the heat.
It's the next winter. It's almost spring again. Okay, so all right. So getting back on track. So do you think this is your favorite, excluding the Where the Light Is in the live albums? Is this your favorite studio album by him? This is.
So this would be my favorite studio album.
Okay.
But like you said, that Where the Light Is Set is absolutely my. Top album.
It's good. I'm always kind of skeptical about live albums, just because not skeptical about the sound of them, just in terms of comparing them to like a studio, like a full body of work. Mm-hmm. I'm always kind of skeptical about that, because like on Where the Light Is, I mean, he's playing all great hits, and it was right when Continuum was coming out. So Slow Dancing in a Burning Room was big. Gravity was big. I'm Gonna Find Another You was big. What else? Stop This Train, which is another one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. That was a good one. And that was one of the first times, I think, the first tour that he did Free Fallin' on, too.
Really?
We started covering Free Fallin'. Yeah. Yeah, he has a great quote about a Tom Petty. When Tom Petty passed, John Mayer said, whenever you cover a Tom Petty song, it feels like you're flying. And I remember hearing that. I was like, from John Mayer to say that about a guy that like also I deeply respect as a songwriter, is like, it's pretty wild. From
one legend to the next.
Yeah, Tom Petty's passing was a little bit, it was odd. He struggled with drugs for a really long time, but that guy could write a fucking song, dude.
Yeah.
He was, it's unbelievable. Like, I love when people because we used to do this with the duo partner that I was with at some point. We used to play American Girl by Tom Petty, and then all the chicks would go nuts for that song. Like, she was American Girl. Oh, he's talking about me. Like, well, I fucking hope not, because the American Girl in this song, she jumped off a balcony and fucking killed herself in Gainesville. So, whoops. Hope you're enjoying dancing to that. Yeah. Yeah, on 441, like waves crashing on the beach. Yeah.
God, that
stood alone on the balcony. Yeah.
I think some people just like the.
They just like the beat.
Yeah, they just like the beat rather than like the story behind it. Mm-hmm. Like, before the end of this, I'll think of a song where it's like the beat's really good.
Yeah.
But it's like it's always so, it involves like death or like leaving somebody.
Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot about that. I mean, I talked about this on the test episode with Jasmine, but one of my favorite ones of all time is Good Riddance, Time of Your Life by Green Day. It's like, I
love that song.
It's something unpredictable, but in the end, it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. Fuck you. And then they're like, do you want this to be our wedding song? Get the fuck out of here. God. They were like, I remember Billy Joe being like, I don't understand why people think this is a love song. Like, if you read 2 lines of this shit, you're like, oh, right. It's not.
Just understand the words. That's all. Yeah. That's all. Like literally, all you have to do.
And this is coming from 2 kids that were in intensive reading in high school.
Yeah.
So just figure it out, okay?
And I can spell every fucking word on that song.
Oh my God.
Green Day must have been in the same class as we were, because they don't really use big words.
They're punk rockers, man. They get right to the point.
Yeah.
They don't do anything wild. Okay, so I have a couple random questions for you that I'm excited to ask you, because I'm excited to hear your responses.
Oh God.
So we can dive back into this at some point. I wanted to use this as kind of like a template I know we didn't talk a lot about it, but there's other Mayer albums that I would love to get into with you and kind of talk about and hear more stories about Chuck E. Cheese and stuff like that. But so I have a few random questions for you. If you don't feel comfortable answering and you don't want to incriminate yourself or others, then you're fine. Okay, so this is one of my favorite things to ask people because I love watching this shit. I love watching people hurt themselves. It's one of my favorite things. What is your favorite Instagram account that you follow that involves people just fucking themselves up? Like my favorite is kids getting hurt.
Kids, that's like the name of the Instagram page?
Yeah, I believe so. Kids getting hurt or something like that. Yeah. Oh, dude, there are some. Dude, it is fucking insane.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that's a real Instagram page.
I'll show it to you after this. My friend, shout out Nick Baldwin, who's going to be on here. He showed me that page, and I have been watching that shit. There's some that are like just overreactive parents where they don't get hit that hard, but there's other shits where you're like, oh my God. They come with a disclaimer in the front of the video, like, just so you know, he's fine. And then you see like a kid falling down the stairs, like somersaulting down the stairs in the background. But like I love like the wicked slams and like shit like that, like the fail stuff where people are just fucking themselves up, dude. Like I don't like the
dumb shit.
Yeah, the dumb shit. I don't like watching like the skateboarding stuff because like you're supposed to eat shit with that.
Yeah,
that's how you build character in that game.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I had a bunch of buddies growing up, and they're like, "Oh, they didn't even give a shit." They're like, "I cracked a fucking rib. Like, I'll still do it." I'm talking about like people that try to jump from boat to boat.
Oh yeah.
Or like people that jump in water fountains and dive and like belly flop on accident, or they like, or someone that, you know, does something stupid in like a mall, like slide down an escalator and like smash their face on something.
Yeah.
Do you have an account that you follow for stuff like this? You do?
So they post a whole bunch of stuff, but like there's a lot of videos because one of my favorite things to do is party. That's like one of my favorite things to do.
Oh, we know.
And so I follow Full Send.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and your brother, we send things back and forth to each other because it's like it's
Lincoln?
so. No, Jack.
Oh, Jack.
Mm-hmm. Because he likes the people that are like the full set or the Full Send boys too.
That's pretty funny.
And they like on that page, some like you said earlier, jumping from boat to boat.
Oh yeah,
but it's like everything always involves alcohol.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course.
And
that's my favorite shit. I don't like it when it happens to my group because I feel like I have to get involved and like help somebody.
Yeah.
But when it's some other jackass that's so profoundly stupid, they're like, "I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Is it videotape it? It's gonna be fucking rad, dude." I hope you break every bone in your face. Like I hope you do.
Jumping off the second story, trying to jump onto a table and just completely missing the table and just slamming on the floor.
Yes.
Like and then they pop up like acting like they're okay, but they know in the morning when all that alcohol wears off, you are so fucked.
Done. One of my favorite things to watch too is like, and this isn't just I don't know if this is claimed by the Buffalo Bills fan base, but I love watching people not make it through tables.
Yes.
That they light on fire.
Bills
and
Mafia.
They catch themselves on fire. And then people are like patting them and shit. That is my favorite thing in the world.
How much do you like when they fucking hurt themselves?
I love it. I love watching people do stuff that's so dumb because it's like you can't even. You shouldn't feel bad for people that are consciously making the decision like, hey, I'm gonna jump into a pit of fire and hope that the snow just happens to put this thing out.
I hope there's a snowball falling at the exact time I'm jumping in this.
I hope that I don't hurt myself, but let's light ourselves on fire. I love that shit so much. It is the great. Like I'm a sucker for obviously I don't want to watch. I can already
tell this is going to get bad.
Honestly, yeah, I don't want to watch people die on camera. Okay? Let's get that straight. I don't like watching that stuff. It makes me uncomfortable. Is it funny sometimes? Sure.
Of course it
but
is.
Also I don't like it if someone is tragically taken from us. However, I fucking love it when I know there's alcohol involved and I know that there was a board meeting on that boat or in that group or at the bar where you're like, hey, do a backflip on the bar. Or like, hey, try to break dance and then break your fucking neck. I think that shit is so goddamn funny. I show shit to Jasmine, like with the kids too, the little kids, because their parents are videotaping them about to get fucked up.
Oh yeah,
knowing that it's gonna happen. It's the best shit in the world. And oh my god, I gotta show you this after. There is a kid that every time I see this fucking video. And shout out to Nick Baldwin again for sending it to me. There is a kid that fucks himself up on it's like a go-kart kind of, not a go-kart, but it's like one of those little motorized like John Deere type things, like the little electric things, the kids, like the John Deere for kids,
Oh, like the little car looking thing.
Yeah. So this kid was in a full fucking circle, spinning and just smashes into a fence. And you see the whiplash and you hear the impact, and it's just 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, so fucking sweet. I love watching people hurt themselves. I really do. And knock on wood so I don't hurt myself. But
I think it's so funny, like watching, like even you go out to a bar and watching.
Oh yeah,
you said like the board meeting.
I love seeing it out in public too. Yeah,
a group of people.
Yeah,
they all like when alcohol's involved, they all get together.
Yeah,
and they all think it's a great idea to do the dumbest shit.
The greatest. Yeah, it's happened in our group. Pretty sure. Quite a few times.
Like run through that door.
Yeah,
everyone's hyping up. Yeah, like everyone's screaming and once people start screaming and hyping you up, you can't not do it.
Yeah. So I'm the first guy to love watching that shit, but when it comes to like my group, I'm always like, please don't do that.
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
Use your brain.
I want to see other people that I don't give a fuck about do that shit to themselves. But I would hate to see you run through a door and like separate your shoulder on accident. I'd be like, fuck, man, I was hyping that up. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
I
was one of them screaming. Just go get an ass tattoo instead.
Yeah, just go get that booty cheek tattooed.
Yeah, whatever you were gonna do, just get it tattooed. I guarantee you'll feel a lot better tomorrow.
Oh my god. What? By the way, if you had to put a name on it. Not a person's name, but if you had to figure out like the sketchiest bar that you think that the most murderers hang out at that you've been to, where do you think it would be?
Ooh,
we can bleep it out if you have a good relationship, or if it's somewhere that I play.
Known as Slice House.
Yeah. No, it's not you guys. I know for a fact it's not you guys.
No,
love you guys.
Have you in Soho, have you ever been to Tiny Tap?
I don't know. Wait, is that a newer place? No. Old?
It is the most hole in the wall of the hole in the walls.
I might have been there. It sounds familiar. Explain it to me.
Like when you walk in, it's like Varsity Club, according to from what I've heard, like where it's like only locals. It's like locals only.
Have you been there before to Tiny Tap?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you
just haven't been to Varsity Club. Is what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah. So you go in and there's like 3 pool tables and there's like 2 dartboards.
Oh my god.
And you have to sign up with a piece of chalk hanging on a string on this board.
Oh my god.
And when you sign up,
oh my god.
Like we're like, I think when I went in there, it was me and some friends. We were probably 104 years younger than anybody in there.
by a long shot.
Yeah, that was like minimum.
Yeah.
And when we were in there, like it's just these guys they all rode on their motorcycles there. They all got like the leather jackets, the big beards, everything, and they all look like they killed somebody. Like every single one. I think I saw a couple of them still had like blood stains.
Oh god. Like, this is fresh, motherfucker. You want to be the next one?
Yeah, exactly. So we go in and we change the music, and there are like everybody's staring at us already.
Nope.
And so we changed the music, and we're all like, but we'd all been drinking, like, so we're like, all right, man, fuck these people. So we're like playing like drums on the side of the table and stuff.
Oh my god.
And we go put our name up on the chalkboard, and as we're listening to music and stuff, like I looked over to see if we were next. Some guy just walks over to the chalkboard,
right,
swipes our name off. And I was like, yeah, we're probably not playing pool.
Let's not play.
We were next to play pool, but I was like, yeah, we're just gonna let them jump us.
Oh my god.
And I was like, yeah, they're way too dangerous.
Holy shit.
No, Tiny Tap is probably
holy shit.
like the top plays.
Oh my god. Okay, I have a couple more questions, but I really have to pee, so we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna still roll, but we'll edit this out. I'll be back in just a second. I'm gonna take a quick pee. Mm-hmm. We're back. Sorry, I had to pee. I've been drinking a couple of beers. I've been drinking. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this has been a lot of fun, man. Yeah, this is a good time. We got to do this again for sure.
For sure. Well, when this gets 100 million views,
yeah,
I'll probably have to be back
easily. I think you're undercutting it by saying 100 million.
Yeah, by 217 at least.
Yeah. Yeah, this will be out on 2/16. So happy 2/16. Happy anniversary, man. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers.
Happy anniversary. We got to go back and see Doc sometime soon.
Oh, for sure.
He's a good guy.
And if anybody doesn't realize how big of an event this is, we're having a pig roast for the 1 year anniversary, which, what the hell?
And you're all invited. Yeah. I have a day off that day, so we're going to get fucking shit housed. For sure.
Well, obviously.
I love it. What do you think the drunkest you and I have been together is? There's been a couple of times.
It could have been this past weekend.
Honestly, I think you might be right. Yeah, yep. It was pretty wild. I mean, open bar for 4 hours.
Yeah,
was it?
Yeah,
ish.
Yeah, wedding started at 6. So yeah, cocktail hour started at what? I think it started at like 6:30.
Yeah,
the ceremony wasn't that long.
Yeah, I had my drink. I had my first drink at cocktail hour because I was so nervous about blowing the song they're walking down the aisle to. I was like, oh my god. They're like, yeah, you want a drink? I'm like, no, dude, I can't. So
I think I asked you like 4 times if you wanted one, and you're like, no, I can't.
I was like, I want to so badly, but I just can't do it. So yeah, it was a lot of fun though. Shout out Justin and Katie. Thank you for the opportunity. We loved being there. I loved it. It was so much fun. What a great venue too, man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
There was like so many things to do, so many things to look at.
So many things. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't.
In the science center.
I'm glad I didn't take the edible before I went into the dyno room because that shit would have been wild.
You walk in and that thing was actually chasing you.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy.
No, yeah. So I think this weekend was probably the drunkest.
That you and I have been together. I think there's probably a time we're forgetting, but
for sure.
Oh, what about when we were in St. Pete and we had the people in your fucking truck in the bed of the truck?
That got
you weren't drinking.
No,
because you were our DD, but like
so I had like 3 or 4 beers.
Yeah,
which I was perfectly fine, but the rest of the group.
Oh, we were all shithoused.
Yeah, I was like, what?
That was the first time that they had visited me there.
Yeah,
and I haven't seen him since. I've seen him since, but I haven't hung out with him in a while.
Yeah,
but
well, I mean, I don't think many people have, right?
No, not really. Yeah, they're kind of their own group.
Yeah,
but they were still a big part of my life, man. So I still appreciate it. And the stories that we have with them together, I mean, they're untouchable. They're some of my favorite stories to tell to this day.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a time where it was really, really insane. Like for me, even I was like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And then like with these people in the trunk, and then I told Andrew, I was like, hey, we're getting on the highway, right? He's like, yeah, we'll only be there for like a minute. I'm like, no, this is gonna be bad if you do this. I was like, it's one speed bump away from the end of your life.
I remember looking in the rear view mirror, and there's just hair just flying everywhere. I was like, dude, shit.
The thing about Andrew, which is really funny, Andrew's my college roommate. He was my suite mate, so he wasn't the guy that lived in the same room as me in college, but he lived in the same technical room. It was just a different suite inside that room.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew him from then, and then he was the guy that lived with me before James. And the thing about Andrew is like he's sneaky in the sense that like he always does wild shit, but you wouldn't expect it from him.
Yeah,
he does sneaky shit all the time where it's like, what the fuck? Like why would you do this? But he's also like one of the most conservative dudes in terms of like he gets up every day, same time, exercises, eats the same. when we were living together, got up, ate the same breakfast out of the same chair, out of the same mug, like very ritualistic. Yeah, he was very, 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 very routine-oriented guy. And I remember there was like a couple of times where he would just do crazy shit, like when we were out in public, and I'm like, where is this coming from? And then we just found out that like if you gave him like a couple beers to like loosen up, he would be the fucking man. Like when we were out, he was so goddamn funny. So that when that was happening and he like got in the back of your truck, I was like, this is gonna be fucking terrible. This is gonna be bad.
And he was he pretty sauced that night?
I was for sure. I remember that because we were at Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
Parks and Rec, or is it Park and Rec or Parks and Rec? Park and Rec, whatever.
Usually I can't even read the sign by the time I get there.
Yeah, right. I used to go there all the time after gigs to meet up with you guys, and I stopped doing that after a while because I'm like, I gotta just be done with this shit. And I was like, I can't. I love going there if it's like a relaxing time, but like I feel like every time I go there, if it's like I remember the funniest shit that happened to me recently was like I called Colby after I had like a shitty night, like a shitty gig. And I was like, "What are you guys doing? I can meet up with you?" And he goes, "Yeah, we're in Ybor. Come get a drink." And I was like, "Okay, yeah." I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling Ybor. I might not do that. And he goes, "It's just me and Randy. We can have fun." And I'm like, it's a great selling point because honestly, if I hear about anybody else being there other than Matt, like I love Matt is. I have a soft spot in my heart for Matt. I love that kid to death, man. Like he and I have bonded. He was like the first like musical bonding that I had when I started when I first moved here because we worked at I'll bleep that out because it doesn't deserve the fucking recognition. It doesn't deserve the
screw 'em.
Yeah, fuck them. So I don't even want to like promote it in the littlest sense.
Not that it even needs it at this point.
Yeah, this is so problematic. It's so problematic every time. Like when James came on here, the non-musician episodes where we just like kind of bullshit and like talk about like stories and shit, it gets real dicey. Yeah, because I don't know who's gonna want to be mentioned and who's gonna want to be left the fuck out of this.
Yeah,
and also like people are gonna know like, hey, why didn't you mention me? It's because
be mention worthy.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's because I don't feel like mentioning you. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it's all right. We'll probably edit that out so I don't get in trouble.
There's a time and a place to mention anybody.
That's correct. Some negative, some not. Okay, so I'm gonna ask this one last question, and then we can wrap it up and bullshit a little bit. But the whole theme of this podcast, obviously, we're called the Scratch Track. Follow us on Scratch Track Podcast on Instagram, the Scratch Track Podcast on Facebook, and email us if you want to get on here or you want a certain album to be discussed. Email us at the scratchtrackpod@gmail.com. Scratchtrackpod@gmail.com. So a scratch track, Randall, is when you go into the studio and you're kind of just getting an idea for phrasing and idea for rhythm in terms of melody and things like that to kind of give a song a baseline, and it's something that you know that you're going to do again. So I'm not necessarily like, I don't want it to be cliche and like ask like, what would you do over if you do it again? It's not necessarily a redo question. It's what would you do that you didn't do if you knew you could try again if it didn't go well, or something like that. Like I always equate a scratch track to it being a parachute on your back when you're jumping off a cliff. You're not going to fall and it's not going to be the end. You have an opportunity to kind of like release and like do it again, or is it something that you've already done that you enjoyed so much that you want to go back and do another time, or something, or a moment, or like an event, or a trip, or a sightseeing, or like a concert, or something like that, like anything.
So could it be something that happens like multiple times over and over and over?
Yeah, sure.
So
hit me.
I one thing that I wish that it would have saved me so much time, money, effort, everything. If I listened to some of my friends, they tell me all the time, if I learned to say no, if I learned how to say no, or hey, I can't, I may be the richest man alive.
Wow. I love,
Like if
you have to, and the fact that you are understanding that though at your age is very different. I figured that shit out like a year ago, dude. I figured out so much about my life and personality and like what I don't want to fucking be around when I just started dating Jasmine. I was like, oh, that's right. She makes me feel good and these people don't. So I'm not hanging out with them anymore. Yeah. But before it was like, I'll hang out with anybody. I don't give a fuck. Like, but that's the reason why I don't come out as much is because like that was why. Yeah. The saying no is big because you feel like in a way, especially like in high school when you're trying to, find an identity. And even after that, sometimes like you feel like you have to say yes to kind of see what's going on and see what's out there, and maybe if you say no, you're gonna miss out on a chance of like an unforgettable night or a story you don't want to miss out on, or like your future wife or something like that. Like you just like start thinking of all this shit in your head, and you're like, all right, fine, fuck it, I'll go. Like I agree with that. I think that's so your scratch track would be just being able to just to say no to certain situations. Yeah, I like that.
Like in high school, was like it was like really bad for me. I know I've told about like our people plenty of stories, but like I just wanted to fit in so bad. Like I felt like I didn't fit in anywhere. Yeah. But I wanted to be with the cool kids at the time so bad. Yeah. Wanted to be one of them. Wanted to do everything they did. I remember like I used to give them my shoes. Hey, I'd get a brand new pair of gym shoes. And I'd give it to them. I had a gold chain. And I remember just giving it to them. Yeah. Like, and then I remember getting another chain, got that stolen. So I think people found out that like I was nice. So it's like, oh shit, he's giving this shit away for free. Yeah, they just yank it off his neck.
Yeah, I can identify with that, man. I wasn't always as I didn't always have a rough exterior like I do now. I used to be I still am, but I kind of hide it a little bit better. Yeah. I was a very sensitive kid growing up, cried a lot about everything. Oh yeah, a lot. I still do now, but I just don't do it in public. True. I have in public recently. Steven and Brittany, you guys can vouch for that. That was a bad New Year's Eve. But yeah. Oh, in front of a lot of people. They were like, is this guy going to fucking relax here? I'm like, yeah, it was a nightmare. So, Jesus. But it used to be like that in school all the time. And I'm not hiding anything. Like I know that there's probably there's probably a few people that watch this and go like, this fucking bitch is going to act like I'm not acting tough. This legitimately is still a problem where like my insecurities and sensitivity is through the roof. I mean, it comes with the psychological damage of being a musician and like childhood divorce and like everything you see, everything going on, like you're just constantly angry. But kids would love to get a fucking reaction out of this and like not understanding what I was like really going through, like what was in my own head. And I was like, I just didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to communicate it. And I remember that growing up of like just trying to be like somebody that they would like so it wouldn't cause any further problems. Yeah. Where you just be like, okay, all right, just do whatever you want and, whatever, it's fine. Like, sorry, but now it's like, dude, no, fuck you, man. Like, what's your fucking problem? No. Like, come on.
Yeah. Like I remember there's one story where, this kid, he was really close with the football team and he was in my gym class and he used to tell me, hey, give me $5 or I'm going to tell the football team that you said this about them. Wow. But I had like, NFL players in my gym class. Yeah. And I remember I gave him all the money I had until one day he walked up to me, did the same thing, and I started crying. Yeah. I had no money. Yeah. Like he literally took all my it was like $200 or $300 that he took just like from me over the course of the semester and a half or whatever. Yeah, so it was every day. So he got to the point where it was every day I was paying him. And I remember he felt so bad. Never gave me my fucking money back. But he felt so bad and apologized. We ended up becoming friends.
Hey, just want to let you know, you bought me some sweet-ass Air Jordans. Thank you so much.
See these things on my feet? I'm going to kick this kickball 100 yards thanks to you. No,
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. You're not going to be seeing a fucking cent of that, but I hope you have a good year. Thanks.
Can I at least try him on?
Was he older than you?
Yeah, I was a freshman. He was a senior.
Oh, that fucking pussy. Okay.
Yeah. But then I remember seeing him like walk home one day to like walking into it like a super rusty trailer, and I was like,
oh boy, okay. Like, well, now you see, if I call him a fucking pussy, you can't say that. Now I look like a dick.
Yeah, he had no money growing up.
He walked, yeah.
I was paying his electric bill.
Yeah, right.
Pussy.
Yeah, fucking. Yeah, but that's a. Sorry, we'll probably have to edit that out. I'll get fucking hammered for that. So the big problem for me when I was growing up and when I was in middle school and then like elementary school too was that I had just so much like misplaced like anger and frustration.
Mm-hmm.
And like I didn't have a sense of humor back then. I think that's where it comes from now. I think like I laugh at everything now, no matter how fucked up it is. Because I just think that you shouldn't fight your body's natural reaction to laugh. Mm-hmm. But like it's kind of hypocritical of me to do that because back when I was a kid, I used to cry at every joke that was against me. Mm-hmm. And now I say jokes to people all the time where I'm like, yo, you can't fucking handle it.
Yeah. I was the same way
as an adult, but it's like it's not fair. It's not fair for me to be like that
whatsoever.
But I was. I mean, hey, you're a fucking kid, whatever.
Like, so. I try to be so sympathetic to like the kids that like remind me of myself, where it's like,
dude, yeah. Like,
so one thing that I dealt with really really bad, besides having a bad haircut, was bad acne.
Oh yeah.
And so like when I hear people make jokes to like other kids, like
pizza face stuff, and
it hits me. I'm like
I hate that.
I don't. Like,
yeah, because
it makes me feel so bad.
It's not anything you can control. Mm-mm. It's just a genetic thing. Like I was lucky to not have to deal with a lot of that. Mm-hmm. Just because I just was really fucking lucky. But like I would never.
Say it. You have good skin. Yeah,
I would never. Nah, not anymore. I have too much skin. Yeah. Can fucking make a parachute out of this stomach of mine.
Go skydiving.
Yeah, I could. I would look like a flying squirrel if I just like sat out there. It'd be like, yeah.
Mommy, where did his wings come from?
It came from my flabby triceps. That's where it came from. So, I think that like when I would hear that and like I would hear things that like when people would tease about things that like they can't control or whatever. Mm-hmm. I even still get this way when I watch movies where kids get picked on. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I can't watch it.
Yeah,
I told Jasmine, I was like, we watched a movie recently. I think it was Wonder? Mm-hmm. Kid who's got that. He's got some sort of I can't remember what it is. It's a disease that you're born with. That like his skin and his face was kind of
like powdered white.
No, it was more like it just kind of I don't know. I'm gonna fuck it up. But the movie Wonder is about this kid who I've
seen the movie. Whatever
he had a tough life growing up because he had some sort of disease and that made him look different than the rest of the people that were in the class. And there were like times where I would see it. I'm like I can't fucking watch this. Mm-hmm. I can't. I just hate it because I know what I went through on a small scale, and I would see what they would do to the kids that were like, oh my god, dude! Like I would see that shit, and I'm like, I can't do it.
I know what you're talking about. My manager has a daughter with her the exact same way. I remember that name. Yeah, but I remember what you're talking about now.
Yeah, it's a very good movie. It's very well done, and it's got a lot of heart. But it really fucked with me. I'm like, oh my god, I hate this shit so much. Yeah, like where you're just trying to be you, man. You're trying to be normal, and you can't. It's like kids are so fucking mean, and like TikTok's not making it any fucking better.
You will get drug at Country Mile on TikTok.
Yeah, dude. So this is the other thing that made me sad. One time, Jack, my brother Jack, told me. I think it was his freshman year of high school. I can't remember. Maybe 8th grade year. There was a kid who was doing a report on. Like a musical artist that means a lot to you, and like everybody was doing like fucking Drake and Lil Baby or whatever his name is, or all the rappers that are out like now, like everybody that is huge in the hip hop scene, like they were doing it. This kid did a report on Nirvana, which is one of my favorite groups of all time.
I feel like that wouldn't be popular amongst kids nowadays.
No, so. This kid dedicates his project to talking about a band that he loves and talking about music that he loves. And they all, like Jack was like, I felt so bad for this kid because they all were like, oh, you like this shit? What are you, fucking gay? Like stuff like that where it's like, okay, dude. And that's the thing. That's the thing where like when I grew up, so I grew up in a house where like all different types of music were listened to. Like I listened to everything from like NSYNC and Ricky Martin to fucking Led Zeppelin and Van Halen. Okay. I listened to it all, like when I was a kid. Obviously, it was different soundtracks when I was at my mom's and my dad's, but like I listened to a lot of different stuff, and I was always afraid to let people in like that. I still, to this day, like if I see somebody on an airplane or if I meet somebody at a bar that I don't know, I will not tell them I'm a musician because I just don't want people to know. When I take my guitar out to my car here in my neighborhood, I'm like, I fucking run. I'm like, I don't want anybody stopping me, and I don't want anybody doing it. And the one time I got caught, like walking out to my car with it, it was by another guy that lives a couple doors down who also was bringing in guitars while I was doing the same thing. Yeah, so it was wild. But I never told people about my life because like I always like, and I still do this as an adult because it's like an insecurity thing where I don't tell people about my life and things about it, because when I used to be honest and tell people about my life and the music that I would listen to and like the t-shirts that I would wear with stuff on it, anytime I would like open up and try to be like my own thing, I would get tormented for this. So it's always in the back. It's always in the back of my head of like, don't be yourself to strangers because they will fucking rip you apart. Like don't be this person.
You do get ripped apart.
Yeah, and I don't do that to people that are just being themselves. The one thing that infuriates me more than anything is not people, liking a certain type of music or not being different or being mean to one another or whatever, or like not being mean. I mean, like being the thing that gets me the most upset is watching people be rude to other people for no reason. Because I saw it so much as like a kid where I'm like, dude, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Like stop doing, like, it's not this person's fault that you had a bad fucking day. You know what I mean? It's not their fault. Why are you being such a fucking cocksucker? Like, I don't understand. But growing up, it was always like that for me where I'm like, I'm not ever going to be this person that does this. I'm just going to try to take it and try to handle it and not fucking snap back. Yeah. But I mean, obviously it didn't work. But
yeah, shit changes.
Now I'm the kind of guy that like I don't give a fuck about what people say about me because it's like, whatever. Like who cares? We're not in fucking high school anymore. If you want to start talking shit about it, good. Yeah. I don't fucking care. Whatever. But also like the fact that I get invited to my like 10-year reunion and like they think I'm gonna fucking go to this bullshit. Like, are you fucking serious? It's like I already talked to everybody that I want to talk to from high school. Now, why do you think I'm gonna? Oh, you think I'm gonna go meet somebody and be like, oh my god, I would love to buy your block of knives. Yes, let's totally get in on this fucking Ponzi scheme.
That perfume would look great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's talk about this other fucking Ponzi scheme or how great you're doing in life. Yeah, I would love to talk about this. No, go fuck yourself. 90% of you, go fuck yourself. The 10% that I still keep in touch with, I fucking love you till the day I die, okay? But those of you that were dicks, like, don't pretend like you're not and then be like, oh, it's going to be great. We're all going to see each other and it's fun. Fuck you. No.
You don't care what they have to do and you're just going to hear them repeat the same stories over and over and over and over.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't. I just don't care. Just like I'm not going to ask you to care about what I do. I'm not going to give, I don't give a shit. So it's just growing up was weird. And that's why it's so interesting that you say that about your schooling and like the whole like bullying and stuff like that, because like that shit used to happen to me all the time. And I always say that to like Jasmine and people like that. And she's like, really? Was it that bad? I was like, it was pretty fucking bad. I mean, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And I
didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I can't like cry to kids and be like, I'm mad because my parents are split up. Okay, fuck you. I can't do that because I'll be like, oh, look at you pussy. Yeah, like I can't do that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So it was it's just funny because like I always tell people that like you remind me a lot of like younger me in like a 20-year-old setting. So it's funny that when like we go back on our childhoods and like find out that we have the same intensive reading class and like
got bullied intensive reading.
Yeah,
maybe it's just an intensive reading thing now that I think about it.
Dude, honestly, thinking back to it, I should have taken that fucking money and just done the kids' assignments for them. I wouldn't have had to get a fucking job. And then the next year.
Yeah.
So when did you get your first job, by the way?
When I was 16.
16? Yeah. Was it Chuck E. Cheese? Was that your first job?
Yeah. And then I got offered so I had an internship between my junior and senior year of high school. And they liked me so much that they offered me a job like a week after I graduated.
Really?
Yeah. At the job I'm at now.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm 23 and I'm coming up on my 6 years there.
That's pretty wild. That's good though. I mean, like you can you know, build a little bit and get a chance to, you know, before all your money goes to somewhere else, you know, you can have a chance to build and see where that's going. This was fun.
Yeah,
we gotta do this. We gotta do this again. I don't think I've laughed that hard on an episode. I don't think that we've taped ever, even though we've only taped a few so far, like maybe 10. But every time you tell that 216 story and the fucking Chuck E. Cheese shit, it makes me laugh so goddamn hard. And I'm very thankful for like our friendship and our ability to, you know, hang out and be with each other on like a relaxed state. Like we can go out and we can have a couple beers like right now, and we don't have to punch holes in my wall or rip a fucking door off the wall.
You want to rip shots?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Let's go do those right now. Okay, so plug your stuff again for your business and everything.
Oh, so
plug it.
So for Facebook, it's just Randy Russell Realtor. I'm with Century 21. My Instagram, it's Randy Russell C21BE. And then on LinkedIn, you can just find me at Randy Russell as well.
Yeah, and give them a follow and refer them to people. You know, real estate's a tough go coming out of the gate. I know this from, you know, my mom and obviously, you know, Colby and Dana is a real estate agent too. I've been around the real estate game a long time just because my mom's been doing it forever. So, give them a follow, give them a DM. You know, give them some biz from the Scratch Track.
Send it my way.
So yeah, send it Randy's way.
I'll make you laugh.
He looks he looks cute. He looks cute in the suit too on that LinkedIn page. So make sure you check that out. Yeah. So as always, please do us a favor. Follow us. I didn't mention this in the beginning, but subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's the Scratch Track Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, the Scratch Track Podcast. Facebook is the same thing, Scratch Track Podcast. And then if you want to be on here as a guest, if you want to hear somebody as a guest, if you want to tell us about a specific album that we should cover, or you just want to show us some love, send us an email at thescratchtrackpod@gmail.com or DM us, and you can do the same thing. So we thank you guys very much for listening. I appreciate you. I will see you next week. Hope you have a great weekend. Oh no, this is going to be out earlier. Happy 2/16. Have a great.
That's right.
Hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day, and make sure to keep loving the ones you love. You know. You got anything else?
No.
We ready to roll?
Okay.
I'm ready. All right. Let's rip some shots. Okay. We'll see you guys later. Goodbye.